Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you about being solitary. And often in my meditation in the last few days, I felt like I came into this world alone. I'm leaving alone, but I have this richness going on around me. And I'd like to have you address that a little bit and talk about that.
I mean, look, it's true. We come into this world. We're not alone. We have parents. And there's supposed to be a great deal of love and caring and nurturing. Problem always is that mostly people's parents and their family have so many problems of their own that it's very difficult to nurture a baby spiritually because they're totally enmeshed in their own stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, look, to me, it doesn't matter if you're alone, you're with 1,000 people, you're involved in a relationship, you're not involved in a relationship. I mean, there's a constant presence of spirit in the life of every human being. And if your heart is open, the chakra system is highly developed, it's impossible to be alone here. It's impossible. Even the air you breathe, the food that you eat, the place that you live represents, nurturing of spiritual energy, gifts that are given to you that nurture you. So I don't, I'm not terribly involved in this thing about being alone or being with other people, being born alone. I mean, the whole answer to this question is your heart open?
Mhm.
Another question, is your heart open? You understand? Have you developed a chakra system that you can be connected with God and spirit, no matter what's going on in your life? You're rich, you're poor, you're somewhere in between, you're whatever you are in life. The greatest richness or the greatest riches are contained in the human heart. And if the heart is open and the chakra system is developed where you can sustain that openness, it's impossible to feel alone. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to feel alone all the time. I had no training, I had no spiritual development. I was, kind of a gypsy, crazy young man, but once I started getting that training, I began to realize that, God, spirit is all around me, it's inside me, it's
Mhm.
the breath you take a breath, you're taking in all of life.
Mhm.
How could you be alone if you're taking in all of life?
Mhm.
And every breath you take has to do with taking in all of life. It's the I am, it's life.
Yeah.
So I don't get too much wrapped up in this kind of thing, Chris. You're only lonely, you understand, if your chakra system isn't developed, your heart isn't open, then you're going to feel lonely. But you can use the meditation to develop this. And then you begin to get conscious. Hey, I'm breathing. How can I be alone? I have all of life coming into me.
Mm. Yeah.
And this is not something you can think about, you can analyze. You just have to do it. It's like that Nike sign, just do it.
Mhm.
It's really what it is. You just do it. You build a system that enables you to live that way. And we all have it inside us. Mostly in people, it's not highly developed. So there is loneliness, there is depression, there's unhappiness, there's all of that stuff that comes from the lack of development inside a human being. Anger, fear, guilt, insecurity. I mean, there's a laundry list of words, that keep psychotherapists busy forever,
Yeah.
and all of it could disappear if a person just opens their heart. It has gratitude for the fact that they're breathing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope it's clear, because I don't know how else to answer that. You know, you can make friends, and you make friends with people, and in 6 months to a year, you're finding out what's wrong about them, gossiping about them, and it becomes, and it's also because the heart isn't open.
Mhm.
So you need to make tension, because that's what is you're living with is tension. So you make it with other people too. It's not only for Chris, it's for all of us. We have to learn to live that way. We breathe. Just think how extraordinary it is that we breathe. And our breath, the breath of every human being, is what sustains the world. It's I am that, one with everything. I am the that. The Hindus have a mantra for it. So, I am one with everything. The sound of one's breath. Does anyone else have a question?
Very beautiful.
No, good question, Chris. Thank you. Does anyone else have a? I have a question. Why doesn't anyone else have a question? Well, it's New Year's. With most people, by week one, it's already old years. So let's try to sustain the newness, by transforming ourselves, by changing, by growing, and not get into the fact, oh my God, it's the old year already, and it's only been a week long, which is what happens to most people because there's so much tension. I mean, I turned on the news this morning, early in the morning, and the first thing I read in the news is, earthquake in Japan, people killed, tsunamis, I mean, and then I laughed because once, I remember years ago, I gave a talk at a Barnes and Noble about one of my books in New Jersey. And at the end of the talk, somebody raised their hand and said, can you define hell? So I started to chuckle, and I looked at him and I said, I don't have to define hell. Just turn on CNN and you will instantly arrive at hell. The tsunami, the earthquake, the war, the this, instantly shoved down your throat. You will experience hell. Of course, I got a big laugh and people appreciated it, but it's true. It's true. That's why we have to live with our hearts open. We have to take full responsibility for ourselves because the world is not going to do it for us. So you have to take full responsibility to build that kind of system in yourself that enables you to detach yourself from hell. What is hell? Hell is a closed heart.
That's right.
That's what hell is. It's a closed heart. And then you get anger and, your heart closes and suddenly you're living in hell. The heart opens and it's being a paradise you got there, Suddenly you see the world differently. Does anyone else have a question they would like? And the wonderful thing is we all have hearts. We all have breath. We all have minds. We all have to just learn how to use the tools to transform hell into paradise. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be meditation on Wednesday. And once again, Happy New Year to everybody. Don't let by Wednesday become the old year. Try to keep yourself open inside, try to stay balanced inside and try to really understand that every moment of one's life is sacred. Every moment is really given to us as a gift to have a spiritual life, to use it, to become more conscious human beings. So thank you, and God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank
Good
you.
night, Stuart.
Happy New
Thank
Year,
you.
Stuart. Happy New Year all.
Hi.